Hello and welcome to this week's Energy Shot podcast. This is an astrology update for this week's planetarian situation with Matt Taylor. And my name is Nicole Ercolani. We have decided to produce this podcast already a while ago in order to give you weekly updates from an astrological point of view, but also like some tools and guidance for this time. And in order for you to link to the higher realms and then like to feel better in general. So that's what we do. Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm very well, actually. It's only the beginning of the week, so it's it's easy to say.
It's the moon day.
Going well. Yes.
Good.
That's it. So I have pleasant Monday mornings. It only really starts with just talking to you. So it's very good.
Yeah. I love my Monday mornings as well.
Yes.
I spoke on Saturday night that like my Mondays, I really like, since I don't work for anyone else but me, I figured out that those moon days for me as a woman, I don't know how it is as a man, but the Monday is the moon day. The moon is amplified, and we women have like different moon centers. The men have one. We have like 11 moon centers, and this is so fascinating. Like on Mondays, I'm really creative. I really can get like done a lot of things, but I need to be on my own. I barely can stand like I couldn't work with a lot of other people to have them like in my house or like, you know, do you have also like, do you feel that also the amplified moon?
Yeah, I feel like Mondays are always like an energy where it's very difficult to ground. It's kind of a lot with water and I think it's kind of against, sort of the Mondays when everybody's going to work and they've got a lot of like emails and calls and they've got a lot of things. They would like Monday's a startup day, and I don't feel that's intuitive to the actual day. I think the day is much
Not
more.
at all. Yeah,
I think it's very like the day is about more flow, right, and more intuition and more. Yeah. So it's a little bit more internal, actually. A Monday, it's a more reflective kind of day. Rather than too much. I mean, you can go and do proactive things. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not really where the energy is moving with you so much.
I feel the same. It's like Sunday, which is the sun, which is amplified. I really like love to spend that one doing a lot of.
Yeah, we go outside, don't we? We do like
a lot of like adventure stuff, but then Monday's like very like turning within, like looking within, like and then creating from within as well.
Yeah, you can feel it's
completely a work day. Like then I can like get the energy on the floor. Then it's like really.
Yeah. I need to do a couple of things on a Monday. Monday night, I have like clients because the day shifts into the next day at sunset, not sunrise. So, it's a much more proactive part where I'm starting to work around 6 or 7 in the evening. I do three people usually, and I have a couple. I'll have a couple in the afternoon, but not really with the busy stuff, It's like just going to have a coffee in the morning, be calm, walk the dog, or all of that stuff. And yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's going on this week with the planets?
Well, it's a mixed bag. So it's going to be hard to draw a story because there are so many sort of different things. I mean, let's look at where we are in terms of the month. We are in the month of Taurus. This is the second week, and it is the second month. So in the second week of a month, we generally go into quarter moon phase. And the quarter moon phase of Taurus is always in Leo. So Taurus and Leo go together because they're both fixed signs. So fixed signs are generally where we can, put down clear routes. We want to go this way. This is the direction we want to take. We're a little bit more determined. We're persevering more. We're like giving it like this, much more clarity. It's fixed. It's like, I know the objective. I know the end. I know where we're going, right? Of course, the negative of that is that we get a little like stuck in something. We can't move on. We don't have a lot of flow with us, right? So we tend to get like when something's coming in and it needs change, or it's not really, it's something new to us or something different from us, then, the challenge is to move, to flow with it, to go with it. If we're stuck in it, we're just really grinding ourselves into some kind of like, fixedness about it. So the proactive behavior this week is to really be flexible, to go with things and not to like try and get stuck in the way that we want to do things. The energy that is automatically with us is like, this is a really great week to really start to pursue some of the things that we want to get done in the month or done in this lunar cycle. So we're in a fixed month, basically. This is a month for really getting to the end, pushing on, going forward. But we still need to retain some flexibility within ourselves. The thing that helps us with flexibility this month is that we have Mercury moving into Gemini. So this means that Mercury is a very fast-moving planet. It shifts things very quickly, and it rules over communications, interactions, our thoughts, the way we speak. And Gemini is the sign that it's most natural in. We call it its domicile. Mercury rules over Gemini. So they're together, so they're very comfortable together. They do great things. So this is a great time for really getting in new interactions, new ideas, new ways of talking about things, right? And then, coming up with things that are a bit out of the box, a bit different. And what helps is that Geminis are not great at finishing things. They're more of the beginning focus, right? Or let's change it up, So this Taurus and Leo give us, like, here are my new thoughts, here are my new ideas, here are the new things I'm thinking about or talking about, and I can also set them into some kind of like way forward that is concrete. That's what the Taurus and Leo energies can do. Taurus and Leo are a little bit famous because these are the two signs that are the signs of most dictators. So when you combine them together, you get a heavy sense of authority, right? So we will feel in this week, the challenge to authority, right? We might feel the challenge to our own authority. We might feel the challenge to the authority of government in particular, right? What's happening in authoritarian governments, right? What's happening to the authority of government. So these could be big issues through the week. Right, what is, these kind of things, but particularly at leadership, government, these sorts of things. This is ruled by the sun. The sun rules Leo, and we have the moon starting there. So we will see an interesting week in politics as well. But in terms of our own life, we have to be a little bit flexible. If the minute we try to take power or take control or take authority over something that we're coming in at like this, is the minute that we will see around us the agitations that are only infuriating us even more, right? Because we have a lot of fire now in the chart. We have a moon in Leo plus Venus is moving into Aries. So, we're getting a bit of fire in the chart now.
Yeah, I can feel that with dogs. I know it's
you have a dog issue?
No, but usually I don't. But if you are very authoritarian with dogs, they block. Like
can do, yes.
Yeah, that doesn't help. So.
No, so yes, exactly. It's like I'm trying to put. Some parents are trying to put like too much control over their children, and their children only respond even more. I'm not saying it's going to be that, but that's an example, right? Or you try to put more authority over your dogs and your dogs start barking more, right? This is the kind of energy that we have this week. So we really have to be proactive in restricting, staying in our own zen. The best way to control the outside world is by the state that we are in ourselves and, keeping it in, right? So we don't really have much of that. We have a few signs in Pisces, which are very much more about the calmness or the gentleness or, the sharing. But, we have some fire coming in. We have Taurus coming in. So this can bring this kind of energy as well and shaking it up a little bit. So here is like when something is challenging our authority or challenging our power or, making us feel that we are being attacked or whatever it is like this, we need to just bring ourselves back into our zen and always deal from a calm state. I always feel people are much more in their power when they're actually calm, So
Yeah.
when they're losing it, they're, not feeling as though they've got much power. So we're actually trying to gain control by being out of control. So it doesn't really work, right? So it's really when we're bringing ourselves back to that. So Venus Venus is very important in the chart this week because Taurus is ruled by Venus. And Venus is really moving into Aries. Now, Aries is a fire sign, right? So Aries is about like, I don't want my freedom taken away. I want to be able to say, yeah, I'm getting short patience. I'm getting upset easily. I'm getting angry easily. This is the negativity of Aries, is the impatience of
Mhm.
everything. Venus is coming in and saying, well, what can we do that makes things a little bit more calmer, more peaceful, more harmonized? Venus and Aries are not really like two things that go well together. So we're going to feel upset to our harmony, right? Or we could feel attacked to our peace, our harmonization. So here we need to take back, what the great thing about Aries is they can take control without being controlling. So Venus is also something that adds a lot of peace into something. So how can I add peace and how can I take control by bringing more peace through me, more harmony, more mediation through me? And this ignites all the energies that we have in Taurus, in the month of Taurus, much better, right? To how can I bring like all of this agitation in the world around me, this frenetic behavior or whatever it is, how can I take control of it through my own Taurian senses and Venus senses of calmness, right? So that's a real challenge, right? If we have something in our life that agitates us or upsets us or threatens us or attacks us or whatever, we feel, in the world today that is always just really shaking, how can I remain calm? That is a real spiritual exercise. That's the basic
It
spiritual
feels
exercise.
like this week has a lot of dynamite in for explosion because of the law of the fire that is coming in.
Right,
Right?
exactly. And
Yeah,
Torah and the Kabbalistic astrology reveals an internal element, right? And
yeah,
the internal element of Taurus is fire, right? Where Taurians look very calm and serene on the outside, inside they're
yeah,
just
exactly.
burning with agitation, right? Because
Mhm.
there's fire inside. On the positive of fire, they're very creative, right? Taurians are very creative
Yeah,
usually, right? But if anything upsets them, they're trying to hold it like calm on the
yeah,
outside
and
and burning on
it
the inside.
explodes.
Yeah, yeah. And this all explodes out, right? They're very famous for being very calm and then all of a sudden shooting off, right?
Yeah,
So if we have those moments where we feel like shooting off, it's actually to restrict, restrain, hold back. That doesn't mean suppress, but bring ourselves back to a calm before we deal with the issue ahead of us. Yes.
mm.
And this is a
What I
real spiritual exercise this week, to focus on.
what I always do when I'm really agitated or when I'm like stressed or nerve, like when something goes on my nerve,
Mm.
I really set myself down and then I meditate on where do I feel the sensation in my physical body. Because what we tend to do as humans, we tend to not want to feel what there is. So we tend to externalize those emotions. And that's why they have to be shown to us from the outside. So what I try to do is I really like when I feel that there is a resonance, when I feel that someone or something or a dog shows me a certain kind of agitation to my harmony, to my peace. I really sit myself down and I feel the sensation in the body. And sometimes it feels like, like a storm or like a huge tsunami of power. Like it feels very water power, but sometimes it's also like an explosion or like acid or like there are many different types of um sensations to an inner feeling. So what helps me the most is when I really try to figure out what the feeling is, so I then can really transform this experience, this stored sensation in my body, and then really, but not transforming in sense of I'm just ignoring it and trying to find peace, but really like working with the sensation.
Mm. Excellent. It's great. I mean, the energies this week are really like either I'm very sparked and creative for new things, new thoughts, new creations, and I have a lot of newness coming through. But then in that kind of heat or whatever of being, we can burn, right? So we need to, okay, these are the new things I want to bring through, or this is the way I want to deal with something, or this, we need to bring it down a notch, right? It's very important that we just bring it down the notch and, just come through more like, in more our calm, we have to restrict on what the energies are doing with us at the moment. Yeah, in terms of that. Also, what will happen is Jupiter at the moment is on 29 degrees Pisces. When something's on 29 degrees, it's the final degree of a sign. So it's leaving Pisces, it's at the end of the Pisces, and it's moving into Aries. So we're going to have now more fire in the chart, right? So this hasn't happened for a long time, where we've had Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, those 5 outer planets, the planets further away, in a fire sign. This hasn't happened for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years. Yeah. But it's not going to stay there long. It'll stay there 3 months, and then it will retrograde and it will go back into Pisces. And then next year it goes into Aries for a full year. So next year we will feel this kind of senses that we've never had before for a long time, since before the pandemic. So what will we feel over the summer with Jupiter in Aries? It's going in there probably from next week. It's finalizing on Pisces. Is this great senses of that I need to expand. I need to grow myself. So personal development, personal growth, personal expansion, right, will be a big theme over summer. What can I do to make it feel like I'm growing, I'm expanding, right? What can I do to move into that? And which we haven't had for ages. Like, we don't feel like we're going anywhere. We're not growing anything. We just feel very, in the same loop. And that's because these 5 outer planets have not really moved. And, every year I'm sort of saying, no, it's still the same. It's still the same. Well, next year we will not have the same. We will have many, some definitely different energies coming through, but we are still with a year that's been like the past 3 or 4. So let's not get too excited, but we'll have a little insight over summer into something a little bit more open. And, Jupiter is a very blessed filled planet, and Aries is about me. So I'm going to feel my blessings more. I'm going to feel like I'm a little bit more excited about myself. Venus is already there. And so Venus is more self-love, I'm loving myself a little bit more. So that's really helpful as well. That can be a great energy from Venus in Aries. That's another aspect of it. So we will have a lot more kindness on ourselves, compassion on ourselves, love of ourselves, particularly over the next 3 or 4 weeks. And that will make us feel a little bit better about ourselves. We're going to start, with the pampering, with the massage, with what new things do I want to do? What do I want to bring forward? How do I want to expand? And it will make it feel like we're a little bit more nourished than we have been. So that's a great energy. We're going to recreate ourselves in a little bit more, but that's more into the next week. With Jupiter finalizing in Pisces, it's finalizing on our abundance, right? On how we feel that we have opportunities. What are the options for me? The opportunities, the abundance, right? So we're really going to see the things about how can I grow more spiritually? Where am I not growing? How could I grow more? It'll highlight that because it's such a big planet. It magnifies everything out. Pisces being the spiritual sign and saying, where are you spiritual, not spiritual? What do you want to do to share more, to be more of yourself? And it will bring energy through like that. So when it's finalizing, it's really coming in hard on something. It's really like showing us the last bit of work that we need to do before it moves out. It's not an easy point, right? It's very karmic. So we will feel where our spiritual work is off, but also on, but in a very extreme way. We will see it very clearly. Okay.
Love
So
that.
it's going to add to this feeling of where am I balanced? Because, balance is all where we are in the spiritual
Mhm.
work. Because if I'm not in my balance, I'm out of control, right?
Totally.
So we are being shown where we're not in balance because Venus which is the ruler of the chart at the moment because it's Taurian, is showing us about a lot. Venus is about balance and harmony, right? So this is the really the week to really show where am I in balance and harmony with the world, and if it's pushing me, I need to really exercise my muscle to pull it back. Yes,
Love it.
and it can come through ways we don't expect.
What would you say? I know we have some really experts like listening to your astrology knowledge because they really love it. Like the people that know their charts, that can read charts. What would you say? Like if someone like when Jupiter is in your birth chart in a specific sign, and
Hmm.
it enters now on the planetarian level into Aries. Usually, what are the amplifications like on signs where you would say, like if your Jupiter is in this house or in this sign, then I would probably maybe.
Right. I mean, the Western astrologer would sort of say, well, if it's in your sign, it's affecting you. Where
Oh,
in
yes.
karmic or Kabbalistic or transcendental astrology, where we're much more precise, we usually say when it's in 3 degrees. In other words, if your sun is here and the Jupiter is moving through Aries and you're in Aries, then it doesn't really affect you until the Jupiter is on the same degrees,
Yeah.
right? So, which makes more sense because if
Yeah.
you think 2 or 3 degrees in the space, that's a long way.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
think about 30 degrees, it's like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's, it can't really affect you because it's so much difference.
Hmm.
So in the mathematics of it. So, at some point, if you're in Aries and Jupiter is moving, takes a year to go through, at some point in that year when Jupiter is moving through, you will feel something. Now, Sun with Jupiter would normally mean that you're expanding your senses of identity, of how you're sharing, of how you're showing up in the world, your leadership, and how you want to grow and expand yourself. So it'll be something
Amazing.
like that. So Jupiter going across may do something, it may do nothing, it may do lippy, like, oh, I had a moment. Sometimes we have this effect. It doesn't affect, or it can affect in different ways. Sort of, you have to look at the whole chart to see
Sure, sure. Yeah,
being
yeah.
what's being amplified in your chart.
And what about
Yeah.
when Jupiter, like when your moon is in Aries, does then the Jupiter also have an
Yes,
impact?
yes, it affects all your
So
planets. So,
maybe for all the experts, if you want to know like deeper details from Kabbalistic astrology, like book a session with Matt, because I think those like the normal astrology to see how that is perceived, and then the in-depth knowledge about the Kabbalistic astrology, I think that would be something really interesting.
yeah,
No.
well, it gives you, I mean, when you're trying to do things of just, well, my one thing is here and that one thing is there, it's a bit hard because I use 40 or 50 different points, of your
Yeah.
charts. So you get an idea of what the bigger picture story is for you. And people really like that clarity, that kind of senses of, well, I can do this, and I can do that. And when this comes up, I'm aware of it and I need to push in this way, and, and so on. And it gives them a sense of a good strategy for their life, a program that they can take away and say, well, I can apply this, it's useful.
Totally. I was just thinking about the moon because my moon is in Pisces and
Mm.
Jupiter was in Pisces. And I had like a certain amount of, a certain couple of weeks this year. But last year, this year, like certain, like 2-3 months, I really went through a spiritual, I would say almost rebirthing, and I mean, that would make very much sense if Jupiter goes over your moon in when my moon was in Pisces to have this spiritual shake up and like, so yeah.
Mm. Yes. I mean, it can be horses for courses. It depends where you are, so, or what you're in, or what your moment
Yeah,
you're going through. There's a lot of different ways the moon reveals itself, a lot of different ways that Jupiter reveals itself. So when you look at the whole chart, you can probably see how it really is going to
I
show
love it.
itself, you know? So yeah, so I think the main takeaway for this week is to really start new things, get more concrete about how you want to finish things and define things. So in terms of like getting on and doing stuff, there can be great things, but things from the outside, things that come in and give you a sense of being out of control or undermining your authority or undermining your power or upsetting you, or you know, all of this. We also have Scorpio rising, which is a lot about these kind of things as well, right? This is where we just need to ding ding ding, 3 2 1, I'm breathing, and right, and then we can deal with that sort of stuff a little bit better.
Better. Amazing.
I think so.
I think
I'll know by the end of it.
what I see from Kundalini yoga perspective, there is an amazing possibility for pranayams, for breath work.
Mm.
The more prana you have, the better your nervous system functions, the more chi you have stored in your body. So when those stressful situations come, like take a deep inhale and exhale, and like, yeah, really, like,
Yeah.
give yourself like 5 minutes to like completely lash out, and then come back and like be in your center again, and then
Yes, that's it. You can't walk around the whole week like this.
no, you should not.
You need tools. I think breathing is a great tool. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
All right.
All right. I hope you guys liked our podcast. If you did so, please give us a thumbs up or a like, or share it with your friends, which would also be really, really beautiful. And yeah, we see you in 2 weeks,
Yes.
because next week we're on Mallorca.
Yes, I'm meeting Nicole in person,
Yeah, we're
which is
going
great.
to we have our retreat on Mallorca, on the island, and in a huge finca, and Matt is part of the retreat and will come for a vacation with us, and
Yeah,
very beautiful.
very exciting.
Okay, we see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for listening, and have an amazing day. Bye.
Bye.